This is the annual board meeting of the Shrewsbury Housing Authority. Because Kelly is not on video here, let me just say that this is opening up of the annual board meeting. Kelly would normally chair this, but let me confirm the members as a preliminary. My name is Richard Ricker, and I am the present chair of the Shrewsbury Housing Authority. Please permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Paul Campanello, members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Paul Campanello?
Aye.
Kathy McSweeney?
Aye.
Dale Vigent?
Aye.
Bruce Pardee?
Aye.
And staff, being our executive director, Kelly Bergeron?
Aye.
All right, and Kelly, we don't have any additional speakers anticipated for this particular annual meeting. Let me just say in introduction, this open meeting of the Shrewsbury Housing Authority is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12, 2020, due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of the COVID-19 virus, we have been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings, and as such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings in publicly accessible physical location. Further, all members of public bodies are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order, which you can find posted with the agenda materials for this meeting, allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely, so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will not feature public comment. The following meeting will, and I'm going to use these preface comments for both meetings. For this meeting, the Shrewsbury Development Corporation is convening the Shrewsbury Housing Authority is convening by Google Hangouts. Is that correct, Kelly?
No, this is GoToMeeting.
GoToMeeting, Richard. We are in GoToMeeting.
GoToMeeting app. The public is invited to view and or listen to the meeting via phone, computer, laptop, or tablet. To do so, download to the GoToMeeting app in any app store or at www.gotomeeting.com. And there is a call-in number as well for the public to join of 1-866-899-4679. We have a meeting ID number of 495-895-733. So with that said, this is your meeting.
Okay, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
We can, but Kelly, you can't see me, but I'd like to make a motion. I know you're about to talk about election of officers. I'd like to make a motion that we keep the existing board in place during this pandemic, at least until our September meeting. There's a number of reasons, but my rationale is that right now with Chax as treasurer, I've been the only one that's been at the Housing Authority, and I think we should keep it that way. That's one of the reasons, although there are several.
I'd like to second Ms. McSweeney's motion, actually.
All in favor?
We need to do it by roll
We
call.
need verbal. Yeah. We need to call out every name, Kelly.
Well, this is Richard.
Okay.
Oh, I thought she was, all right. My bad. I'm sorry.
This is Richard Ricker. Aye. Paul Campanello.
Dale Vigent, aye.
Paul Campanello, aye.
Kathy McSweeney, aye.
And-
Dale Vigent, aye.
And Bruce.
Bruce Pardee, aye.
Okay. So with that, Kelly, do you, will you accept a motion to adjourn the annual meeting for now? I'll make the motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Second.
All right. Aye, Richard Ricker. Aye.
Bruce Pardee, aye.
Dale Vigent, aye.
Kathy McSweeney, aye.
Paul Campanello, aye.
All right. Thank you very much. The meeting is adjourned. Now we will go to the regular meeting of the Shrewsbury Housing Authority for June 9th, 2020. We are starting a little bit late. It's now just about 4:38. We had a little bit of technical difficulty, but that's okay. If I can just say again, as a preliminary matter, my name is Richard Ricker. I'm the chair of the Shrewsbury Housing Authority. Please permit me to confirm that all the members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Paul Campanello.
Aye.
Kathy McSweeney.
Aye.
Gail Vigil.
Aye.
Bruce Pardee.
Aye.
Richard Ricker, aye. And as far as staff goes, Kristen, we have Kelly Bergeron.
Aye.
You are here. Okay. Kelly, do you have any anticipated outside speakers anticipated for this meeting?
I do not.
Okay. Once again, good afternoon. This is the open meeting of the Shrewsbury Housing Authority being conducted remotely consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 2020. I'm not going to read through the whole preamble again. If the members will allow me to pass over that. But the bottom line is that when we vote for any item on the agenda, we need to do so by roll call vote. The public is invited to attend, and the way to attend is posted on our website, as well as has been posted at the appropriate housing authority offices as in town posting sites. So, is everybody okay with that? Okay.
Yes.
All right, so the first thing we'll do is the minutes from the May meeting.
Motion to approve the May minutes.
All right, Kathy has made the motion for the May minutes. Do we have a
Second.
All right. Any questions, comments, or discussion? There being none, we'll go to a roll call vote. Paul Campanello,
Aye.
Kathy McSweeney,
Aye.
Gail Vigil,
Aye.
Pardee,
Aye.
Richard Ricker votes aye. Okay, thank you. We'll go to the treasurer and financial report next. The account balances are as they stand. Anybody have any questions, comments, or discussion about those? If there's none, then we
No.
will. If there's none, we'll go on to the vendor account check register. I imagine there might be a couple of questions here.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question.
Yes, Gail?
I have a question on check number 19774, an industrial park bench.
Yep.
Should you explain that expense?
Yes, is that the Mass Corps? So those are benches that we ordered last year. Those benches are made from the Mass Corps, the jail. There's 3 benches. One's going at the Towers, one's going at Elizabeth Street, and one is going to Francis Gardens.
So this is the total cost for 3 benches?
Yes,
Okay, all right.
So
'Cause it
about
says-
300, 350 per.
per bench. And we do not have to procure that. Those are Mass Pure. They're made at the jail.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
okay. Anybody else have anything?
No.
Okay, there being no other questions, we'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Ricker, I'd like to make a motion that we pay the check register in the amount of $123,428.62.
Second.
Kathy seconded that. So we'll go to a roll call vote. Paul Campanello,
Aye.
Kathy McSweeney,
Aye.
Gail Vigil,
Aye.
Bruce Pardee,
Aye.
and Richard Ricker votes aye. So now we can go to the portability out check register. Anybody have any questions on that? If none, we'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Ricker, I would give you a motion for portability payout, 3 checks in the amount of $29,34.92.
Second.
Second.
All right, I think Bruce seconded that, Kelly. That being said, if there's no further discussion, Paul?
I'd like to make,
We'll do a roll call vote.
oh, sorry, you caught me off guard. Yeah, it's roll call. Aye, Paul Campanello, aye.
Okay, Kathy McSweeney.
Aye.
Gail Vigent,
Aye.
Bruce Pardee,
Aye.
and Richard Ricker votes aye. Thank you so much. And now we are going to the landlord-tenant check register.
Mr. Ricker, I'd like to make a motion that we pay the amount of the landlord-tenant check register in the amount of $123,159 even.
Second.
Second.
Second by Kathy McSweeney. And if there's no further discussion on this, we will go to a roll call vote. Paul Campanello, please.
Aye. Got it
Kathy,
that time.
please.
Aye.
Gail Vigent, please.
Aye.
Bruce Pardee,
Yes, aye.
Richard Ricker. Aye. Passes unanimously. Now we have the payroll to pay.
Mr. Ricker, I'd like to make a motion that we pay the payroll amount as printed for the week of the month of May.
Second.
All right, Gail seconded that. If there's no further discussion, we'll go to a roll call vote. Paul Campanello,
Aye.
Kathy McSweeney,
Aye.
Gail Vigent,
Aye.
Aye.
their votes. Thank you very much. All right, so now we go to the correspondence. Kelly, do you have anything you want to mention about correspondence?
Yes, Mass Narrow has been absolutely wonderful towards housing authorities. They keep us updated regarding DHCD, and DHCD has put a lot of on holds. One is the regarding of PMRs. Those have been, since DHCD staff is working internally, so the PMRs are on hold. Update on AUPs. DHCD and auditors are working on which portions they can suspend. Beginning after the 12/31/19 housing authorities, the audits have been reduced from 90 procedures down to 60, and several that have had no findings will be or were eliminated.
Does that include us?
I'm hoping, but we are 331. They're working on the 12/19 ones now.
Okay.
There is waivers in the 667, which would be Francis Gardens, Elizabeth Street, in the family units regarding DHC acknowledges the difficulty with leasing up and keeping everyone safe, but they need to balance that with the lengthy waiting list and vacant units. With that being said, we have leased up through this whole process. We've done it safely. We've met people outside. We've exchanged keys in a safe manner. Everything's been done in a safe manner, and we've been doing lease ups all along. Update on annual plans. We would be 331, which would be the third round, and they're doing trainings. The annual plan, something new for DHCD, where we have been doing annual plans all along for the federal. The next is the reopening guidance. Housing authorities have been considered essential since the beginning, though closed to the public. have been available, we've been available to the public, and we've provided the essential services. The governor's guidance for returning to work sets limits, not mandates. The HCD and members agreed to process through, this process should be gradually. DHCD will issue guidance to help LHAs with our reopening process. Update on CHAMP. DHCD reported there has been a decline in the number of new applications since February. The FEMA and MENA reimbursement, those would be for more larger housing authorities that have been hit hard during this crisis. The budget guidelines has not been determined yet, but we're estimated to show a potential $6 billion shortfall.
$6 billion.
$6 billion. The capital update, the conditions assessment is almost complete. And as I said before, Mass Narrow has been wonderful to all the housing authorities regarding this whole process. And that's all I have for
My only
that.
comment, my only comment is that I think we better be prepared for some serious financial constraints in the next year or two, at least. Because although the state is looking to the feds for help, I don't know that the federal government's in much of a shape to give a whole lot more help either. So it's a good thing that we are so tightly self-preserved at our state facilities. But as far as our federal housing, we've got some issues coming at us. We can be sure of that. So thank you, Kelly, for that update. With that, if anybody has any other comments or issues, if we do not, then we'll go to the vacancy report. I see Francis Gardens had a reasonable accommodation move down on 5/31/2020. Kelly?
Yes, the apartment will be ready on June 15th, where that applicant will be moving down.
All right. And then we'll have a vacancy to fill up at that location where that person moves from, right?
Yes, and Shirley has already pulled the list for that apartment.
Yep.
And there is only 4 out of 15 applicants she's pulled, there's only 4 locals and the rest are all vets.
So we'll probably not be a local preference, right?
Most likely not, no.
All right. Okay, Elizabeth Gardens, no vacancies. Family units, no vacancies. Everybody can see the turnover for the various periods shown at the bottom of that list. Vacancy report for federal, Kelly.
We have one, it was apartment 813. Maintenance is in that apartment, turning it over now. The person who has been offered that apartment is a Shrewsbury resident.
Good.
Woo, woo.
Good.
So,
Thank you, Paul.
Well, I mean, there was a time 5 years ago when that comment wouldn't have even been necessary. It would have been standard operating procedure, but.
Okay, so Section 8 report is fully leased. You can see the number of recertifications that have happened in the last month, as well as interim changes. Total hosting is remaining at 4, correct, Kelly?
correct.
Okay, so with that, we have the social services report.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
weren't there 3 portability checks though?
Yes. So those are 3 of our people. The 3 portability checks, Kathy, are the 3 people who are ours that went to other housing authorities. These 4 that we're hosting are coming in from
Gotcha.
other housing authorities.
Coming
Thank
in,
you.
right, going out. Right. Okay. We can go to the social services report. Anybody have any questions, comments, discussion?
No?
I do. Kelly, I noticed in the resolution, eviction lease violation prevention, there's 2 incidences. I was under the distinct impression that no eviction actions could take place during this period. So are these just meetings having to do with lease violations?
So we cannot evict
Right.
for rent owed. But if there's a lease violation that is health and safety and we can send it off to Karen, who helps us write a letter.
Okay. So that's what these are.
Yes,
Health
we
and
have
safety.
not fought on them. We're in that process of, these are very serious lease violations.
And I will tell you this, that I anticipate that once the governor releases the hold on the eviction process in Massachusetts, those courts are going to be very busy. I don't know how
Yeah.
I don't know how they're going to handle it. And Shirley mentions, as she does, that she called and emailed several tenants during the COVID-19 pandemic. That kind of dovetails with the questionnaires that were sent out on that survey. I assume all of you have seen the surveys at this stage. And this dovetails with that. I know that Tina also was making calls. Apparently, Jennifer was making calls. Everyone was making calls. So
They are still all making calls
on a daily basis.
on a daily.
Okay. So, any other questions on the social services report? If there are none, then we'll move on to the letter to the selectmen. As you can see, we sent on May 29th, 2020, the letter. Kathy, thank you for all your help on this letter. It went out under my signature with the check for the pilot. Okay. Anybody have any questions on that?
No, thanks, Kathy.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Kathy.
And then we'll go to the Department of Housing and Community Development, a letter to the executive directors relative to face mask distribution. I assume everybody's had a chance to look at that. Masks have been distributed. So it appears that we're okay there. Kelly, anything else to say about that?
With those masks, every housing authority received enough, so each resident would approximately get 15 masks. I personally have passed out the mask to every single resident. I'm planning on passing out another at the end of June, and we would have enough to pass out for the end of July.
Okay. All right. Does anybody have any questions on this?
No.
No?
Pretty straightforward. I'm glad they did it. I'm glad that MEMA had the ability to distribute these. So with that said, is there any other old business, Kelly?
There is not.
Anybody else?
No.
Do we have any
Nope.
any update on the coronavirus pandemic process and everything else that you've been doing, Kelly, other than what you reported to us last month?
I do. The SHA offices are still closed. We have been preparing for the opening, which is still to be determined. We have installed plexiglass in the front office where Tina would be. The carpets for the Shrewsbury Tower, the main lobby, we have those cleaned on a weekly basis. Each office staff has gotten all their PPE equipment regarding masks, wipes, gloves. We're taking it slowly still, and we're just doing all the precautions to keep everyone safe.
Good. Anybody have any questions about this?
Not about that, Mr. Rooker, but about the next issue, which would be our next meeting. I know the second Tuesday in July would be the 14th. I know that's also a really busy vacation time for folks. It works for me. I don't know about the rest of the group. I assume we would do a form, but I don't know what the plan is. We'd also talked about maybe not doing a July or an August or combining them, so I would throw that out to the group.
I don't know how people feel about vacations this summer. I don't know how many people are actually doing it.
I promise you I am.
Yeah. The 14th works for me.
Yeah, it's okay for me at this stage. I mean, and it's okay for you, Paul. How about you, Kathy?
Yeah, that's fine. And I think if we're not going to do August, which has been our custom, it's better to make it a little bit later.
Right. That was the point I was making. The first Tuesday of July is actually the first day of July is actually a Wednesday. So it gives us to the middle of the month, which is why we're usually later. I'm going to be away the last week of July and the first week of August. So this works great for me.
Oh, the next
I'm not
meeting.
too happy.
So the next meeting is
The
July
next
14th.
14th?
July 14th, I assume you want to do 4 again in the afternoon with the virtual like we've been doing?
That's fine with me. Is everybody else okay with that?
Yeah, I'm fine.
That's great.
Perhaps we should do schedule sometime maybe on the 13th or 14th to do a little practice session.
I think that would be a good idea. Why don't we think about maybe 4 o'clock on the 13th for a practice session, just to go on and off. Okay.
Yep, literally not a formal meeting, doesn't need to be put out to open meeting laws. It's just a technical practice review. It's not a formal board meeting, which means technically no one's under the obligation to show, but it's like a player's practice, a coach's practice. So
Sounds good.
This is only to practice video, and there'll be no substance.
no business discussion, right?
Okay.
Okay, I know you guys couldn't see waving my hands, but that is the week I am taking vacation.
Oh, that's why I said it might be a vacation week. Well, how about the week after? To Kathy's point about going later in July and not worrying about August. How about 21?
21 works for me.
Yep. And then the 20th will be our technical practice session.
Sounds like a plan.
So 4 p.m.
4
on
o'clock
21.
again?
Yes.
Yep.
4 o'clock for both.
4 o'clock on 20 and 21.
Okay.
I just got to check my
But
schedule.
Kelly,
Yeah, can we
not
just-
register 20 as a meeting.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Do not formally post the 20th as a meeting.
Right, no, oh, I understand.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so is there any other business to attend to? This being a fairly light
If
meeting.
you don't have any, Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All right, there's been a motion.
Second?
All right, Gail seconded. We'll take a roll call vote. Paul Campanella,
Aye.
Kathy McSweeney,
Aye.
Gail Vigil,
Aye.
Bruce Pardee.
Aye.
And before I signify my aye, Kelly, I assume you have no other business to bring before the board, correct?
I do not.
Okay, then I also say aye, and it's unanimous. And thank you all for attending, and thank you for your hard work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Aye.
Kelly, I'll
Bye-bye.